Please let me apologise for the semi-clickbaity title, but I had to do it because this video is going to contain massive, huge, tremendous spoilers, and it's all about this book, the brand new Dropsite Massacre book. I got it on paperback, I got it on Audible. Today's video, I want to focus on certain characters. It's mainly the traitors, but I am going to speak about Ferrus, and I'm also going to speak about a certain mention of the Lost Primarchs in this book as well. So let's jump in and let's get waffling. As I mentioned, this video is going to contain big spoilers. So if you haven't read this book, if you're currently reading it and you don't want to be spoiled, then please leave the video now. This is your first and only warning. So of course, this book covers the Dropsite Massacre, where the Iron Hands, the Raven Guard, and the Salamanders were betrayed by their fellow brothers and literally wiped out. Primarchs died, legions decimated, and when this book was announced, I was like, okay then, you know, we're just going to get another story set in the Horus Heresy. Is there really going to be anything to this? Is it just going to be like more bolt porn as they always put out? Are they just trying to milk the Horus Heresy basically? And I'll hold my hands up now. I'm glad I was wrong. This is probably one of the best Horus Heresy books I have ever read. There's so much depth now to characters, the way they tell the story, the behind the scenes planning of stuff. It is absolutely 10 out of 10. What I will say for Iron Hand players, this is the book you've all been waiting for. The depths that they go in with Ferrus to show Ferrus as a character and like how he plans stuff, his thoughts, his actions. This is for you. I recommend this to any Iron Hand player. Now, one of the big scenes in this book is a council between the Traitor Primarchs, Horus, Mortarion, Fulgrim, and Angron. They're literally planning the incoming invasion and, of course, the incoming betrayal of the Iron Hands, the Salamanders, and the Raven Guard. And one thing that stands out for me here is Angron. I'm so glad that when it comes to collecting traitors, I collect World Eaters because they still have the honor deep down within them. Now, Fulgrim has been in charge of blocking like all Vox communications and everything like that, so nothing can really get out. And Angron absolutely hates this idea. What Angron wants, he wants to send messages to the Raven Guard, to the Iron Hands, to the Salamanders, telling them, right, they're about to be betrayed. The Alpha Legion, the Iron Warriors, right, the Night Lords, everyone who's coming to assist those three legions are all traitors. The reason he wants to do that, because he says there's no honor in what they're about to do. Slaughtering and betraying their fellow brothers, wiping out their legions. That is not how you do this. You should stand on the red sands, right? Look your warrior in the face and then beat each other. And whoever wins, wins. And Fulgrim absolutely hates this idea. He goads Angron saying like, well, whose side are you on and stuff. At one point, Angron runs at him and he's about to like just smash him in the face. Mortarion jumps in front of him and it takes everything of Mortarion like to like hold him back and stuff. Angron hates what is about to happen on Isfahan. He doesn't want this massacre to go down the way he wants to go down. He wants to be an honorific duelist. He wants to see his brothers on the sands in a proper way rather than betrayal. Absolute 10 out of 10, mad respect for him. Now, later on in the book, Fulgrim basically stops like Malagos, like the emissary of Horus, and literally says to him, right, if Angron does this, like if Angron attempts to contact or try and like run his position and go to the Vox communicators, Fulgrim's like, I'm going to kill him, right? I'm going to wipe him out. This is like big debate happening on Isfahan where basically the traitor forces are all more or less at each other's throat. And the argument could be had that if Ferrus wasn't so rational in attacking Isfahan and just waited and blockaded, which we'll get onto in a second, that the traitor forces themselves on Isfahan probably would have tore each other apart because Fulgrim doesn't like what Angron's doing, Mortarion doesn't like the Davanites and all the sorcerer that they've been doing, like connecting to Lorgar and all the other traitor legions out there that are coming into Isfahan. So the big argument is if they just would have been left on that planet, blockaded, then potentially the traitor forces would have wiped each other out. I know, very, very ironic, but Fulgrim, he's literally hating Angron at this point, and of course, this is Fulgrim Fulgrim's arc literally going down at this point. We all know what happens after this. We all know what happens on Isfan with his duel with Ferrus. But yes, this is Fulgrim in full Fulgrim mode. Now, as I mentioned, this is a big Iron Hands book, in my opinion. It has Ferrus in the limelight. Ferrus takes command of the invasion force, if you don't know. And he has this scene where he sends like Vox communications out to all the loyalist legions, of course, with the Salamanders and the Raven Guard, but the, the Word Bearers, the Alpha Legion, and the Iron Warriors are a part of this. And he's telling them, right, are you all ready? Give me your counts of like how many troops you've got. And it's such a scene where you think, oh my God, it's about to happen. The betrayal is coming. He doesn't know what's going on. Like, he's sharing his plans and stuff like that. Like, Lorgar's like, yes, I've sent you all the troops I have, bar the ones I've sent to Guilliman, of course, because we're about to know what happens with Guilliman and Calf and everything like that. Like, the Alpha Legion, like, we have no operatives on the ground because it looks like they've all been wiped out. Sure, Alpha Legion. You have them everywhere. You probably have them on Ferrus' ship right now, okay? There's a really great scene between, like, the Iron Hands, the Salamanders, and Ferrus saying, brother, should we be doing this? Should we just wait? As I mentioned, there's a lot of debate in the tactics whether to just blockade the planet. But the edict from Terra is like, stub this out. So Ferrus is like, no, we go in, we purge them all as fast as possible. Any remnants that remain, we purge them. We turn it all into ashes. But this is what Horus wants. And like, when you're listening, when you're reading this, you're like, Ferrus, just wait. Just wait, Ferrus. You can do this. You can win this if you just wait. It's such an emotional, it's such a sad thing to go back all these years and just see this re-happen again in more detail. It absolutely knocked me sideways seeing like just the massacre happen in real time. Mate, I'm a huge fan of the Salamanders. I know I give Iron Hands and Raven Guard a little bit of poop sometimes, but they still are great legions at this point. They have some strong characters, and to see how they get wiped out, it is absolutely heartbreaking as a loyalist space marine. And also on top of that scene, when they're all talking in Vox communications, if I'm not mistaken, it's Corax that sends a message to Ferrus, and he was saying, Ferrus, right, if we do this, this is going to be an execution. This is not like before. And I'm like, before? What has happened before? What are they talking about? This is not going to be a censure. This is going to be an execution of our brothers. And I'm thinking, wait, that must be in reference to the Lost Primarchs, right? That's where my mind went to straight away. The Raven Guard, the Corax is telling Ferrus about, if we do this, we're literally going to kill our brothers. It's not going to be like before. So does this bring a little bit more story now, a little bit more limelight onto the situation that the Lost Primarchs are literally locked up somewhere? They're not dead. They haven't been killed, right? They've been put somewhere. This adds fuel to the fire of like the Custodes have them like locked beneath Terra or something, and that potentially there's a storyline to be had with the Lost Primarchs maybe in 40k being released or like the legions being imprisoned somewhere. Like, there's a lot of fan theories, there's a lot of speculation about this, but that line really, really stood out to me. I was like, wait, what? That definitely is in relation to the Lost Primarchs. That's where my mind goes anyway. It is Friday, bring me my foil, but that does make sense. Anyway, brothers, thank you for coming, thank you for watching. I just wanted to share with you, really, go and get this book. It's not just bolt upon, it adds so much character, so much detail to this. John French, mate, absolutely smashed it out the park. It's on Audible. You can buy it from, I don't know, any bookstore probably at this point. You can get it from Black Library. I won't say get it from Black Library. It's a bit too costly. Get it on Audible if you want to get the Audible. You can get it for really, really cheap. And I'm sure you can get it for cheaper at some local bookstores. But yes, great book. Massively recommend it to you. Next week, I'm going to be doing a review of this little book. Uh-oh, hang on. This one. And if you want to talk politics, then this is Imperial politics. The back and forth, the breaking the legions, right? Brother versus brother in another way. Really, really big, really, really cool. Anyway, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching as always. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, questions, post them below. I'll do my best to try and answer them down there. See you now. Have a great day and bye-bye.